Alright, yo, what is going on, everyone? This is Robin here, and okay, now the live stream's definitely started. You're hearing this, dude. I don't want to live stream every day, firstly, because like I've sort of got some planned for like 100 subs and stuff. But dude, I made a whole video. I just made a whole fucking video just reacting to fucking this shit. It's like almost 40 minutes. Like, I was just fucking retarded and I forgot to put my shirt on. So, like, I just had my fucking shorts and shit. So, you know what? It looks pretty stupid. I'm not, but if I get, fucking, 50 likes on this live stream, motherfucker, I don't know if y'all want me to release that much. It's dude, but like, you fucking don't care, right? So, yeah, I'm high as shit. Basically, like, I just fucking saw this shit. This is 2 years ago. Basically, my take on this whole Tara Reid thing is, well, good enough proof. Like, her story might sound believable. It might sound like the moral high ground to take to be like, yeah, like, I don't want to accuse her of lying, but it's like, you don't have to accuse her of lying or of not lying, because when you're saying, oh, well, what are you gonna say, that she's lying? Well, either she's lying, or the only other alternative is a president has committed rape. So maybe you don't want to assume either of them. And yeah, if one isn't true, the other is necessarily true. Well, guess what? Again, unless she's mentally insane or something, like she has some manic episode that's just telling her to say that, and she has no clue what the fuck she's been doing or something. It's like, yeah, again, like her story might add up, and the only weight he really adds in this, the only evidence he has, is that, well, she didn't start making these allegations when he was president, like he was just a senator, and apparently he liked her. I mean, apparently she liked him. She was a fan of him, and it's like, well, any of multiple things could have happened. Maybe she didn't really like him, just like maybe Tucker Carlson didn't really like Trump. Uh, who knows? A number of things could have happened. Maybe she got mad at him for some reason. Maybe she like got greedy and thought, oh wow, yeah, apparently it's sort of a thing Joe Biden does. Like, he's really antisocial in that way. He doesn't like, you know how people tend, like, physical contact and shit. Like, there's a way to be affectionate with that can be affectionate, and like, I know I've heard from a lot of people, like, just like for guys it's a handshake. They just really take that, well, that's really affectionate towards them. So I guess. And like a lot of girls, they just like that sort of vibes with them when like put your hand on their shoulder to like show them that you care about them. And apparently Joe Biden does that too much. I don't really watch him ever, like, ever do anything other than like maybe some memes of him like playing Minecraft where he doesn't really play Minecraft. That's pretty much it. But like, yeah, apparently the guy sort of does that type of shit, and it's like, well, that sort of evidence, if he does that, that could easily be seen as him, I don't know, like having some sexual fucking fetish with doing that shit. Except that he does that to people of fucking all ages, like a 6-year-old. You think Joe Biden is attracted to a 6-year-old? I mean, what are the fucking chances, right? Most people aren't. So, like, I mean, that could just be used as an even more solid thing in her direction, and it just give her an extra incentive to do that. And again, like, the thing is, when you're making any case to see the side of Joe Biden, what you're essentially doing, you're having to argue, what if she lied? And then I get how people who think she's telling the truth, they that can tip people off, but like, they're not being any red flags tipping us off about her story being false. That doesn't give her case more credit when it comes to sexual allegations. That just doesn't discredit it. Like, yeah, if there are no holes in your story, that doesn't mean it happened. Like, this isn't like the shit with Andrew Tate, where like, he's somebody who's openly very derogatory towards women, with, like, the proof that he did sex changes, that he did, like, human trafficking with all that stuff, sex trafficking. He admitted on tape, he even said, I love raping you and shit like that. Like, he said that on tape, and, well, he's sort of known for doing that type of stuff, and multiple women have come out. Like, yeah, it's fair to say, that's the only really decent point he makes throughout this video is, well, I mean, this wasn't, it's not really fair to say that, like, this whole thing was really just a hike to take Joe Biden down because he's the president now, because apparently this started before, but he was still a senator. It's like, yeah, sexual assault allegations happen a lot against these people. It's like, if all you need is someone who hates you enough, who's good at making stories, who's good at making them sound genuine and believable. It's like, against Joe Biden, like, I get if there's some random person, like, I couldn't fucking make that claim to just some random person who just happens to be a woman, a transition into one. As I said, like, just says, do Joe Biden rate me? And it's like, bitch, you never left your hometown. What the fuck are you talking about? He never came anywhere close to you. Well, guess what? There are still enough people in Joe Biden's circle, he's a fucking president, who would have, like, the opportunity to make such a claim and for it to be able to hold up without it necessarily being true. Like, take every president who's ever lived. How many, how many of them have had, whether it be real, like, true or false, sexual assault allegations made against them? Probably a fucking lot. And the funny thing is, he was saying towards the end, like, as a taking the moral high ground again, bro, Democrats should not, like, Joe Biden should have just dropped out. They were still counting the votes, which, like, that was really weird that he said that. Let me see.
Her with his fingers. He was making her feel uncomfortable by
and I love how he just said this happened. It's not, it seems that this is like, I think, I believe that this is true, I believe her. If this is, no, he's like, this happened, this happened. You don't know that.
With our very own eye. They would call on him to drop out.
Yeah, like,
Or wanted to be taken seriously again.
If Democrats
they
ever
would
wanted
call
to
on
be
him
taken seriously
to drop
again.
out. Because he has not officially clinched the nomination. He hasn't reached that magic 1991 number. Half the states haven't voted yet. Are they really going to do this? Are they really going?
So, like, I realized at that point it's true. So apparently, like, half the votes were already in, but like he could just drop out. Well, guess who would take his place then? Fucking Donald Trump. I know that's 2 years old. Like, why the fuck am I talking about this now? Well, it just popped up on my radar. So, yeah, like, if he wasn't, if he was to just drop out, well, his second in line would have been Donald Trump. And guess what? Coincidentally, Donald Trump also happens to be a president, and coincidentally, there also happens to have been sexual assault allegations made against Trump. Are they true? Maybe. I don't fucking know. Like, you don't know, I don't know, and it's like, it completely makes sense to feel like, oh yeah, what she's saying, like, I heard her point of view, and it really sounds genuine. But then when you take into account the fact that, well, given that you're a president, given that you're a senator, somebody is going to have, like, it is likely that at some point somebody will make a false sexual assault allegation against you and sound genuine while doing it. Like, given that, like, it might be reasonable to just, I don't know, sort of make up your mind on instinct. Yeah, I just really feel like this person's telling the truth. I heard her speak. But then, like, that sort of gets flipped when you consider the statistical odds that at least, like, 2 or 3 people who will have been just as convincing as someone would if this were true, who just have every reason to want to be doing that. And he said, oh, well, these people, like, he threw an anecdote of somebody whose career it ruined to say, oh, well, there's no incentive for them to do that. Like, yeah, there absolutely is. Biden's approval rating is so fucking low. Like, it's all in, like, nobody likes the guy. Nobody likes the fucking guy. This wasn't gonna ruin a career, but, enough for that. I haven't seen this clip yet. I've seen, like, well, whatever I was on, like, 4 to 7 seconds, something like that. Either way, yeah, you know what, let me go to my live stream and, fucking make it. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna be talking about here, so, what in the fuck? My channel. By the way, y'all can hear me and desktop audio fine. Well, y'all should be able to, I hope. By the way, y'all can hear me and desktop audio fine. Well, y'all should be able to, I. Yeah, okay, cool. So, let me see. You haven't seen this yet. It's fucking TYT, so they're fucking stupid. But I heard like that apparently Tucker Carlson is responding to the text, and like from what I heard, it sounded sorta like the first, like, I don't know, 4 seconds that I heard, he was like, yeah, I said that at a moment where, like, I was really mad at him. And, like, he never had to address that. In fact, like, he never addressed the Dominion lawsuit and he's still dabbling down. And everybody in his comment section is going like, dude, Dominion lawsuit, Dominion lawsuit. Clearly everybody knows he's just not covering it. He could do the same thing with Trump. So, if he's coming out and saying, like, yeah, this was at a time, like, I was really mad at him. Again, like, it could be him lying. You don't, I mean, there'd be every reason for him to want to cover that up. Like, since he doesn't have respect for Trump, it's not like he would, like, given that what he's saying is, like, given that he's lying about this, like, we'd already know he wouldn't have respect for Trump. And it's like, he'd have every reason not to have respect for the guy, to be honest. Like, every reasonable person could see that. Yeah, I mean, every reasonable left-wing person could see that. Because they fucking hate Trump too, and they know what Trump did to Tucker Carlson. Pretty much ruined his career if this Dominion lawsuit thing actually, like, fucks him over that hard. It could, and that was Trump's fucking fault. Trump threw Tucker under the bus. And, yeah, it would make sense, given that he wouldn't really have enough respect for Trump to care to tell him, yeah, I'm not gonna act like I like you when I don't actually like you. Like, I mean, it is pretty disrespectful towards Trump to just pretend that you like him and sugarcoat to him when, like, no, you actually don't like him. But then Trump disrespected Tucker a lot with this, and he has every reason to disrespect
I love Trump, like, as a person. I think Trump is funny and insightful, and I said this to Trump
Maybe
when he called me,
way.
you know, all wounded about those texts. That was a moment in time where I was absolutely infuriated.
That was Tucker Carlson attempting
That
to
feels fair.
backpedal.
And why wouldn't he have been infuriated? Trump might be ruining his career here. And it's like, yeah, why wouldn't he have been infuriated over that? Trump made him lie, and he has said on his show, I don't lie. I don't want to lie, but, like, yeah, I do it. I do it, like, I don't in general, but, if I'm really cornered or something, I lie. And, he was really cornered. Trump cornered him, and, he cornered him so much, in fact, that even now with the Dominion lawsuit, he's still fucking cornered, so he still has to double down on all that stuff. And he was expressing in his text about how he, like, that really frustrated him. He was saying that privately, by the way, that the stuff that you argue is definitely what he really believes now, because they, like, they literally say, can't, like, juxtapose what he really believes to what he's saying on his show. That's the way they describe the situation of his texts in private versus what he says in public. So, at least UYT, but pretty much all of them, they are going off of the assumption what he says in his text is how he really feels. Okay, well, in those same texts that you argued that over, he said, this is infuriating to me that I have to lie to the American people like that, to my viewers, the people who look up to me. I don't like having to lie to them. This is infuriating me. And that just goes hand in hand with what he said earlier. Yeah, I lie. I don't like doing it. I definitely do it out of weakness or something if I'm really cornered. And he fucking was. So that is consistent with what he says. Yeah, why wouldn't he have been infuriated? Like, are you fucking serious? I mean, you could argue, yeah, I don't really believe him, because, like, he has every reason to disrespect Trump. Uh, and, yeah, it makes sense someone that you have such little respect for and that it's justified. Yeah, like, if you're sort of put in a position, yeah, he might just still be cornered and still be sort of having to say that. Okay, that's a, like, fair position to have. Like, I don't know, I'm sort of leaning towards that, actually, but, I mean, it could be a mix. We don't know. We don't know what's inside his brain. You love to make assumptions, and now that you've made just so many assumptions that you've set yourself a solid ground with for what you think of him, and now you're just absolutely asserting those assumptions as facts and just moving on from there. Yeah, we already know that he's a horrible person because I've been assuming that of him since the beginning, right? So. We have like years of coverage on that. Dude, that is also what you claim to assume of Ben Shapiro, and you don't even need to be taken to have your privacy invaded and to have people go and prove to the world that you're a liar because you're such a moron that you do that yourself on Ben Shapiro's podcast. You legit say in private, Ben Shapiro is an awful person, dude. You know why he's like not against the Second Amendment? You know why he wants to keep the Second Amendment? Well, because he's in favor of like these school shootings. Like you see this school shooter where like the guy killed like some teachers, some kids, like kids and teachers were fatally wounded in this shooting. You know what Ben Shapiro's stance on this is? Yeah, he supports it as long as it gives him revenue. Like he doesn't care. That's what she said about Ben Shapiro, and guess what? Like if you even look at it with just look up okay, I mean this is sorta like off topic here, but
You're always
I
saying
just need
cardio
to
isn't the
fucking
right.
do this for y'all could just
Every
look
day.
up the compilation I made of Anarchist Parian about Ben Shapiro. Let's just look up Ben Shapiro. Anna. So y'all should look at these and how when she's talking to Ben, how she treats him and like the demeanor she has in there versus in her videos where she's not talking to him. So she did that at Politicon like a year ago, and she did it about a month ago again. Like okay, let's look at her disgusting take. Yeah, clearly she doesn't have much respect for this guy. Roast Ben Shapiro. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's just see some older stuff. This is okay. And like maybe you shouldn't respect him based on it. Maybe that's why you don't respect him. But then tell us this is why I don't respect him. Don't tell us I respect him. Even though I've been up to now saying on my show the exact opposite. And well, you know what? After this Politicon stage, I'm just gonna like go back to saying that after I lied, and then a year later, I'm just gonna go back on Ben Shapiro to repeat that same lie. Then I'm just gonna go back to my channel and do the usual again. Um, Ben Shapiro loves the markets until his feelings get hurt. This is the person who said, Ben Shapiro has a genuine point of view. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, virtue signaling. She's the best at virtue signaling. It's like, I love her. She'd be the first to just get super offended at anyone pointing out that, well, she has a career because of, well, how she looks. The fact that she's like some fucking blonde girl who like probably has tits. I don't fucking pay attention to that shit. Yeah, she probably got hyped for her parents because she's not a very moral person. She's not a very nice person. she's sort of an asshole who's disingenuous, who's a big hypocrite. She's not nice to anybody. Virginity gaff. Yeah, sounds like someone she respects, right? Suppose his own hypocrisy. Like, you get that she doesn't respect him, but because there's way, worse than that. Why Ben Shapiro talks so fast? And she said in this, it's because basically he's, like, he just doesn't want people to realize he's stupid and that just makes him smart. Well, in the debate she had with him, she said, Ben is a very smart person, as you know, everybody knows that about him, you know? Okay. Clowned by Joe Rogan. It sounds like you really respect the guy, right? Come on, I know she is, like, dude, I have put screenshots. Okay, yeah, provided cover for Texas gunmen by lying about gun laws. Yeah, like, all that type of shit. Like, I know she's, dude. Yeah, whatever, like, yeah, whatever the fuck. I'm really getting off topic, but dude, you lied to Ben Shapiro to his face, saying that you respected him and thought he had a genuine point of view. I made a whole compilation just exposing the fact that, yeah, the stuff that you were saying in your case because you're retarded in public and the stuff that you were also saying in public don't align. When you talk to Ben Shapiro in person, you cock up to him and just pretends to be a big fan of him. You really like him. You just disagree with him, like, on policies, but oh, you really respect him. You think he's a very, like, smart and interesting person who you just, like, you just really like the guy. He's a genuine guy. That is not what you say of him in, like, on your show. So you do that same fucking shit that Tucker Carlson does, by the way. Just thought I'd point that out. Yeah, didn't think I'd have any views. Let's go back to
on
this.
some of the negative and insulting comments he had in regard to Donald Trump internally. And of course, the only reason why we know about them is the $1.6 billion Dominion defamation.
Oh wow, what a, yeah. Let me guess. You're gonna be like, oh well, he's just ingenuine because otherwise he wouldn't have. Yeah, he wouldn't have released his own privacy, dumbass. No shit. Oh, we only know it thanks to. Why would he, like, come out to Trump and say, hey, by the way, a few years ago I said this stuff about you. Why am I saying this? Well, no reason. I'm just, like, gonna apologize. Like, you probably would have felt better if I just hadn't told you this, right? But is that what you're saying he should do? Like,
lawsuit that's been
I'm saying
filed
like
against
way too
Fox. Through that defamation lawsuit, we learned what the internal discussions were about Donald Trump and his lies about the 2020 election being.
Okay, so maybe Tucker Carlson's lying about this. I mean, yeah, like, Trump already had him cornered, and he's just having to say that shit, because what is he gonna say? No, actually, I hate Trump. Like, what the fuck do you want him to say to his audience? What do you want him to say? Trump put him in that corner. It's not like he could have told his audience, oh, actually, this election shit, Trump's fucking retarded here. Like, he could have done that, but he would have lost everything he had ever worked for. His career, everything, him getting to spread a message that he deems positive, that he wants to get to keep spreading. He's worked up to being the biggest influencer, and he would have lost that if he hadn't gone with that, and he was clearly mad about having to do that to his followers, as you fucking saw in the text that you talked about.
Stolen from him.
It's like,
now,
this girl's so fucking stupid, and she's so entitled. Like, she's legit just, like, playing the victim about the trans debate, saying, oh, well, don't refer to me as a person with a uterus. Of course you're the entitled fucking, probably first-class person who wants all the rich people to have their money taken from them. Yeah, you're great at virtue signaling. As if you would give to these people yourself. If you had the chance to just do it yourself, I don't know, no one else is gonna do it. Well, no, you're just gonna just push for that to happen because you know it probably won't happen, whether or not you say I'm for this or for that. Nobody takes you seriously anyway. You're just gonna get views, probably because well, y'all do shit like this. And yeah, just whatever.
Tucker is desperately trying to hide his lies about the 2020 election being stolen from him. Now,
dude, I was on a tangent and I forgot what the fuck I was talking about, but the text that you talked about.
Stolen from him.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was talking about that shit. So, motherfucker, you just tweeted something. Legit just for it to go viral. You just bang a little fucking Karen, as usual. You just bang a snotty, entitled rich kid, while just pretending to go after the rich. Well, how much of a virtue signaler are you? Well, this trans thing, whenever you get to say that on Twitter and gets a lot of attention for saying that, yeah, you're gonna say it. How much time, like, let's see Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report. How much time compared to him do you devote to talking about the trans issues? Trans people are way more marginalized than fucking black people. Having to pay, like, at least 100 grand to get a surgery that, like, so many people are going to look down upon you for having. You might look weird for a decent bit of time. Some people are going to discourage you from doing that. Yeah, you wouldn't ever see somebody on mainstream media, and I've said this multiple times, I'm gonna keep fucking saying it, you wouldn't see, like, I don't know, Fox News, The Daily Wire, you wouldn't see on mainstream media a host, claiming that all black people are pedophiles or something like that. No, they'd only say that about trans people. And you know this, you know that trans people are more fucking marginalized than black people, but who are you spending all your time talking about? Yeah, is having to go through all that stuff, being slandered as a pedophile, being mislabeled as a pedophile and a sexual predator, which that one actually is bad, as opposed to just being attracted to the wrong people. It's like, that's not your fault. It sucks. It really sucks, but, yeah, just having the worst labels that can be thrown at you from the public side, thrown at you, and having to go probably financially bankrupt because American healthcare just isn't affordable to most people. Yeah, Anna wants us to believe that she believes that not getting to inherit, like, getting to inherit a victim card from your grandparents makes you more oppressed than that. And she's also stupid enough to publicly say, well, the opposite of what she says on her show to Ben Shapiro. And then just go back to her original narrative for a year to then a year later go back to that old lie. And then just go back to her shit. It's like flip-flop, flip-flop. You do that a lot. It's like, yeah, maybe no one should fucking take you seriously.
Now, Tucker is desperately trying to hide the reality of how he feels about Trump during this conversation. Is truly pathetic. Now, before we get to any more of his ass kissing, actually, no, I want to address some of what he said in that.
Dude, ass kissing. Do we? Okay. Motherfucker, I have to do this.
So we're gonna have a conversation for the next.
What is she start speaking?
Anna, you're.
It's like, and she's just all laughing. It's so obvious. She just has that fake laugh. She just wants everyone to believe that she really likes Ben Shapiro. She really, like, has, like, just deep respect for him. Even though she disagrees with him. In every other way, she has deep respect for him. But, like, just look at this video that I showed earlier. Okay. Just, what was that? Just watch this whole video And keep in mind,
All right. First of all, thank you
first of all, oh, thank you, but okay,
for
so
having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and everyone's been so hospitable and incredibly polite and nice, and I really appreciate that. Ben, I just found out, based on what Jean told me, suggested me to be part of this conversation, and I really appreciate that.
oh, she's gonna look, I didn't ask for this. But you went on his platform and you lied.
Ben
You're about
is
to
the
lie.
co-founder of the Daily
let me see.
Wire, incredibly well known, especially in the media space, the new media space specifically, but he's certainly made his rounds in traditional media as well. And he
Didn't come as soon as I
has
thought.
really popularized a lot of conservative ideals, conservative beliefs that I think were getting a little played out by some of the old guard of conservatism. So, Ben is known for being sharp, being able to defend his viewpoints without engaging in personal attacks. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation with Ben and, sharing our ideas with one another and, with everyone here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, and also look at, let me see,
this person, this person happens to be, like dregs of the earth. And then you say, well, I don't really wish to talk to, and they say, well, who is worth talking to, somebody who's acting in good faith and somebody who's not really acting in good faith?
Well, I think the interaction that you and I had both before and during that debate.
yeah, doesn't show, yeah, they probably, Ben Shapiro probably agreed to debate you because you're the most, well-known, person against him to go against. Like, you're one of the most subscribed to progressives, if not the most subscribed to progressive. It would just make sense that to help spread his message, he goes to someone like you, who is more popular, who, like, that'll gain more attention from the left, and from the right too, because they might know who. And, yeah, like, it's him being nice to you. Like, you're probably both getting a lot of money from this. He has every reason to. And you're just sucking up to him. You could be, like, you could just ignore that, just not comment on it because it's sort of off topic. Like, at Politicon when she said, you didn't even need to lie about that. You didn't need to mention it. It had nothing to do with what y'all were supposed to be debating. But,
It was really important to me in that.
it's like, wow, you were nice to me. That motherfucker, yeah. No shit, he's gonna be, like, what on earth you expect? Yeah, and he's a diplomatic fucking guy, like, what do you know? That means he's genuine. Like, Anna is not that fucking stupid, we know that. And we also know that because she has said us, like, since that debate where she was saying the same shit, Ben Shapiro actually, like, he wants, like, he's fine with kids being murdered as long as his checks were clear. That was pretty much her exact words.
Gives me a better idea.
And here she is saying, well, you know what, you might have done that for money, but you're also being nice to me now. And it, like, I have every reason to believe based off of that that's also for money. But, like, yeah, now I think, okay, well, you have bad assumptions. But our assumption of you that, well, you're sort of being disingenuous here if you're doing that, right? If you're saying, oh, well, yeah, like, this guy, my position is that, well, he doesn't care about children getting shot because he gets to make money from it. Well, he gets more money from talking to you than he'd get from talking to most people who would have your position, who are even, like, public figures. So, where the fuck is the logic there? It goes out the
sense of
roof
who you
for
are.
me.
One of the issues I've had in recent years is the characterizing, the
here
caricatures
we
that are
fucking
drawn
go.
of the other side. And I think the
And
left.
I also has a complaint. Like, you don't need to look far, okay? I didn't dig far to make the compilation I made of Cenk Uygur. There was a lot more. I looked at, like, 3 fucking videos that Cenk Uygur released to make that whole compilation, pretty much. Same thing with, like, they're just so stupid that every, like, 5 minutes of them speaking can be turned into a compilation of them just contradicting themselves.
does it, the right does it. So just kind of like lumping you in with, let's say, Tucker Carlson, lumping you in with, I don't know, someone else that I certainly don't think is coming at these debates from a good faith perspective. They're looking
Like,
for
she's
clicks.
just
They're looking to
speaking
build
from
their public
both corners
persona.
of her mouth.
There's a lot of that going on.
Like, she's the like, she's the politician. Like, I don't know, the stereotype of politician and the stereotype of, I don't know, a female streamer on Twitch, female gamer streamer who just I don't know, waves her ass around whenever she gets a win. Like, I don't know, her personality as she demonstrates it in public sort of seems like a caricature of both of those.
Notion has been the centerpiece of my workflow. It's quite literally an
Dude,
extension
that's,
of
like,
my brain.
good for
You're a pretty respectful
That's
person
amazing.
when we're
What a
engaging in these
show.
debates. I don't really see you trying to draw caricatures of me as we're in the middle of these conversations. So to me, that's important. You can just tell there's like toxicity, and then there are people that you disagree with politically, but you can actually have a respectful conversation with them. And because I had that experience,
Yeah, she's really dodging a lot, but like,
there's this very real fear that in engaging in these
yeah, like,
conversations,
she loves going on that narrative where, like, yeah, the right is gonna love who's saying that type of stuff. But that's not what she says about them on her show.
you are
She says, oh, the right wing has, like, this well-oiled pull of propaganda, and that's why Ben Shapiro is so successful. They just saw that he could be, like, a part of their propaganda arm, because the right, they all work together in this big propaganda sphere, you know? That's what she said in the video. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, like, if it's not that video, another video she made, probably on Ben Shapiro. Yeah, on Ben Shapiro. I think it was on the, something to do with college. I have no clue.
legitimizing the other side. And my point is, as long as the other side's coming at me with good faith arguments, they genuinely believe what they're saying, having these debates is important in actually deciphering what you as the viewer believe, right?
Yeah, right. So, like, she's trying to speak out of every corner of her mouth, just trying not to say directly, yeah, you are what I consider to be a genuine person, a genuine, like, good faith type person. You're not lying, you're not doing this for profit, you're just, like, you genuinely believe what you believe. Like, you've had enough clips to get an idea, yeah, that's what she's saying of Ben Shapiro. Well, motherfucker, that's not what you believe of Ben Shapiro. Not publicly and not publicly. Like, we don't even have to go in private to see this. Because you're so stupid, you just do what Tucker Carlson does, but you don't even realize that you're doing it, and you don't even feel bad for it, whereas Tucker Carlson does feel bad for it, and he gets shit for doing it because people like you just keep fucking slandering him for any reason you can, for clicks, obviously. Like, yeah, he gets trashed when he does it, and he feels bad for having to do it, but he's really cornered. He says, yeah, like, I lie, but I'm principled, I try not to, and that's, like, yeah, he holds the belief that lying is inherently bad, and you should try to do it as little as possible, but human beings are human beings, and they lie. You just, it's so second nature to you, that you just fucking do it on a stage. Like, to somebody, you just pretend to respect them on stage, and then legit on your YouTube channel with 5 million subs, you're just comfortable just venting out, yeah, this guy, like, I don't actually think he's smart. Like, I just said that, but yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up here. Like, I know I said he's smart, and like, I said he's a well-meaning, genuine person, but like, yeah, that was yesterday. Instead of talking about that today, I'm just gonna say that Ben Shapiro is in favor of school shootings, because, yeah, like, he's all for kids getting shot as long as he gets his paycheck. That's all that matters to him. Like, yeah, school shootings, he's for that. Like, no, you can't have it both ways, retard.
Yeah.
I think he's beautiful, he's funny, he's insightful. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm surprised you didn't say that of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro looks like he's out of your fucking league, moron. He's smarter than you, for one. I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah, I think I should ask someone gay that. I'm sure they would probably say, yeah, Ben Shapiro, probably out of her league. I mean, we should ask a bisexual person this. If I could find someone who's bisexual, who's like equally attracted to both sides, I will ask them. Like, dude, I don't fucking know anybody who claims to be bisexual, to be honest. But if I ever find one, I'll ask them, hey, does Ben Shapiro, this dude right here, is it just me or does he seem way out of her fucking league? He looks like a good 10 years younger than you.
Very natural skin tone, knows exactly how long a tie is supposed to be. He's a great guy all around.
He's in the best shape.
I've thought
best
about
golfer.
it all day, and I think I figured out what he's doing there. I think he's lying. No, it's nonsense. I'm not saying that everybody's utter nonsense. I think that he's trying to cloak it with like a little bit of truth or whatever. First of all, I love him. No, you don't. I mean, look, in a deeper sense, a philosophical sense, I don't think you're capable of love literally anything.
He literally said, I hate him passionately in a January 4th, 2021 text message.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah, on the heat of the moment, you can say that of somebody who, yeah, especially when you respect someone, you see them do something that like really upsets you. Yeah, again, I don't think Tucker is telling the truth here. I think he does passionately hate Donald Trump, but his story, even if you humor it, like, it makes sense. Yeah, a friend who you'd feel betrayed. Motherfucker, just for his own ego, which Tucker Carlson actually, like he said, yeah, I'm repulsed by that type of stuff. Like in my culture, it's like I was raised to see it as repulsive to constantly be talking about yourself. Tucker Carlson never talks about himself. He's mentioned this multiple times. Well, Trump is all about himself. And while Tucker believes he's done a lot of good for the country, it seems. And he, like, yeah, he might feel betrayed by him and be like, I hate him passionately after that. Yeah, maybe he was just really mad. You don't know that. Like, you don't fucking know. Some people are that way.
Passionately.
He said he's fun.
Yeah, and people saw the text messages, and he's talking about how Trump called him all wounded about that. Do you think, oh well, he told Trump that, but like he saw the messages, do you think that would fly if that wasn't a reasonable response to those text messages?
Funny. Maybe he thinks is a little bit funny. I'll actually say that in
especially with someone like Trump.
particular, I think that Tucker
is really good.
might think that he's funny because Trump's brand of humor is cruel, and I think that Tucker Carlson probably can't maintain an erection without that.
Oh my God.
But I think he's insightful.
Yeah, well, poisoning, good for you, buddy. I mean, he might think that of Trump.
You know, you take one look at Tucker Carlson's face and you know exactly what sort of guy he is. He does not think that someone like Trump is insightful. He 100% believes that he is way more intelligent than Tucker Carlson, and I know that because I'm that exact same type of guy, and you do not think that he's insightful. Maybe you think that he's figured out something about, you know, how you activate the base or
I'm just the same type of guy.
something like that. Maybe, because Tucker, of course, did the same thing. In remaking his image over the last 2 decades, he decided that I could just lie to people and it'll work. He's demonstrating that right now.
Okay.
But no.
No, he said in a video that y'all criticized on your show, you've seen this. He said, yeah, sometimes if I'm really cornered or something, I lie. You've seen this because you fucking criticized it, moron. So you know that he said that, and he was cornered. In fact, he's so cornered, he's still fucking saying it when everybody's calling him out.
No, you don't love him. Like, you don't think he's insightful.
How is this going past you? Maybe you're a moron.
And it's his attempt to ingratiate.
And like, dude, they're making personal attacks against Tucker, someone who I genuinely respect. It's like, firstly, this is the internet. And secondly, yeah, it's perfectly fair that I make personal attacks against them, especially given that.
Himself to the base once again feels to me very like half-assed. Like even his tone of voice right there.
Good fucking explanation. You just skipping past all that stuff. Like you're saying, oh, Tucker didn't really bring up in his explanation right there. He didn't say, oh yeah, by the way, I said hate passion. Yeah, we all know what the fucking text say. Well, you're admitting to a lot of shit there, aren't you? Everything I just mentioned. You're admitting to a lot of stuff. It's like, dude, how are you not seeing this? Like, I genuinely believe that this guy isn't seeing this. Like,
Love him. He's funny. He's
Yeah.
insightful. Do I really? Am I
knows
good
he
now?
needs-
Can I stop?
He knows he
please?
needs to be a good boy because,
Yeah.
as we also learned through those.
dude, I'm sure if somebody said that, like, good girl, if you okay now, I can't believe I'm still not banned off of, let me see, I definitely replied to her by calling her gay or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like that. Yeah, I go on fucking rants on this sometimes. Okay, whatever. Can I see, like, yeah. Okay, I think it was that, yeah, okay, so this guy seems like a retard. I'm a woman, please. I love this guy's response. I forgot. I'm a woman, please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus. Birthing person, a person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support it. Motherfucker, you are an elite. You keep talking about how the elites, they deserve no rights for being rich. You don't think they should have property rights, such as the right to have their money? You want more money to be stolen from them? You do not believe that rich people should have rights. If a public figure, if Trump was to, like, cry about someone just making a dirty insult about him, making a very insensitive joke about him, you'd call him a pussy and just talk about how he needs to be more of a man. You'd tell him to man up, and Chen Cougar would tell him to man up. But, yeah, this type of shit, you say that, what did she just say in this right here?
He's insightful. Do I really?
He
Am I
knows
good
he
now?
needs-
Can I stop?
He knows he
please?
needs to be a good boy because.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro virginity. Tucker Carlson needs to grow a pair of balls. I know I've definitely heard that on, probably from Cenk Uyghur, but while she was just sitting a few fucking feet away from him, why didn't you call him out? Oh no, you don't make these comments. That's mean, bro. That's uncalled for. That's inappropriate. That's harassment. That's assault. That's rape. Why weren't you saying that then? Why aren't you saying that about yourself when you're saying the same type of shit that, well, if you say that about a woman, no. Oh, if someone says good girl about you, oh, you need to be a good, like, she would immediately just blow up about how, oh my god, I'm just being, like, degraded and just oppressed as a woman. You do that same shit to others, moron. You have no standards for yourself. Why would we take you seriously on your standards for other people when you legit have these types of, like, zero humanity standards for rich people and you're fucking rich? You're a moron. In every way imaginable, you're a fucking moron. And if I was to, for some fuck all reason, if the internet was also autistic and I were to blow up and I were to, for some reason, debate you, well, I wouldn't bring up that type of stuff unless, like, unless you brought it up, because I wouldn't probably not be here to debate that. But if I was to bring it up, probably if you were to say, yeah, I really like you, yeah, I would say, no, you don't. You said that about Ben Shapiro, it's not true. I don't fucking like you either. We don't have to pretend that. I wouldn't be like, oh, I love you too, but you're very no. That's, like, you're sucking up to people. What do you call that when Tucker Carlson is doing this shit? Like, it's so hilarious.
Because as we
She's
also
so
learned
stupid.
through those internal message exchanges, he's terrified of Trump.
But let me, I didn't think so.
Trump supporters turning on him. He's terrified of the value of Fox's shares going down as a result of viewership.
Well, Anna, did he address all of those points?
Dude, I'm sure that you care about making money. Like, that's a random video that I happened to come across. I just had to watch it. Anna explained, like, from a good bit of time back, Anna explains why she started working for TYT. She says in it, yeah, I needed money. I needed money to go to Europe. Yeah, people like money. You started the show from... Yeah, money has value. And it doesn't make someone a bad person or a, like, disingenuous person to recognize that money has fucking value and to care about it. As long as they don't pull dirty things, and this isn't really a dirty thing, this is just him saving what he already had and had worked up for. Dude, there's a lot of lines just going. That's pretty cool. But, dude, I'm so high. Holy shit. But, like, bro, now I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Jesus Christ. Of course I did. That, like, so...
Trump supporters turning on him. He's terrified
to recognize that money has fucking value and to... yeah, so... Again, what Tucker did here, like... He just didn't want to lose everything that he had, and he even said in the private text that you leaked in, called, pretty much defined and rephrases his actual opinion. Like, you just alluded to that being, like, you referred to whatever his text messages would say to as his real opinion, and you'd contrast that with his public opinion versus his real opinion. And that's how you describe those texts. Well, those same texts show him being outraged, being infuriated that he had to lie to his audience. He was mad about that. And he said on his show, yeah, if I'm corner, I'll do that. Like, you're so
content.
Well,
Trump's a destroyer. He won't destroy us.
Let's get to those.
Okay.
Let's do a little refresh.
Of course, as if you hadn't fucking already.
Right?
Oh, a refresh. Okay, buddy.
Now, from
Jesus
one of the
Christ.
conversations Tucker Carlson had with his producer.
I wonder why you do that. Let's just keep talking about this non-issue and, like, yeah, trans lives. Oh wow, and here you seem to be really concerned about that. Okay, you know what? For once, let's actually look this shit up. Okay, I think I got what I wanted from there. Okay, so I should put that in the description. Okay, let's just look at videos. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's pretty hilarious. They did that. Oh, seems like you're not even covering racism all that much anymore. I guess you saw that this was a, like, dying, no longer trending topic, so... Oh, okay, abortion, yeah, that's sort of trendy. So, I guess you're not getting tired of talking about racism. You realize that maybe your viewers are tired of hearing about racism. Okay, this is one thing about the trans... But if you look at the Humanist Report, hey, so the Humanist Report, there's a left-wing guy, by the way, let's... Oh, fuck. Let's probably... Okay, let's see how many videos he has, Okay, this is talking about, like, poor people, like, again, he believes in those that have a harder time, those that are more marginalized or are struggling more, getting to be having their issues addressed more. And he's very look at that video on trans issue, video don't know what that is. Video on, like, yeah, again, it's sort of that type of issue in here. It's like gay, trans, or that, again, same thing about trans people. This was a shitpost. Yeah, that's saying, okay, again, about trans people, and I really wanted to re-upload a part of that video. It's a fucking hilarious thumbnail, but yeah, he covers that type of stuff all the time. Like, this trans issue, Like he actually covers that. He covers that stuff. Whereas you, oh well, clickbait. Well, let's see how many times does Trump or Joe Biden or Ron DeSantis or Tucker Carlson pop up in your thumbnails. This literally looks like a chills or best friends, a top 10 video type fit. This is so clickbaity. You have a big problem. What in the fuck even is that? What are you talking about? This is so clickbaity. Ron DeSantis. Who cares? You're talking about non-issues. This isn't even. You're not even pretending that it's an issue. Okay, let's have Bernie Sanders and okay. This is all you fucking talking about. Okay. Trump, Ron DeSantis, Alex Jones, Trump, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, whoever the fuck that is. Okay, oh, we know who that guy is. Jordan Peterson cries, but what for? Oh, well, what a clickbait thing. Yeah, you don't really care about trans rights, do you? You just get to make those tweets because that shit is very clickbaity. For some reason, even Ben Shapiro retweeted it, which, the fuck. In fact, people who would, like, that's exactly the type of shit you'd expect right-wingers to criticize. And in fact, other people on his team, like Matt Walsh, who works for Ben Shapiro, actually criticized her on this, but... Okay, fuck off with this stupid made-up bullshit. Trans folks are having their existence criminalized in state after state, and you want to whine about this shit. Yeah, very, very fair. And, yeah, I wrote that, which I think that's very fair. Like, conservatives, they tend to point out, look at this woman who doesn't really look like a woman. But then, if you're gonna try to say that like, this guy isn't a guy, there's a woman. You see this, there's a woman. You see this, there's a woman. It's like, yeah, dude, good fucking luck. Like, I think that's a good, solid point. Vegan Games made that point. I sort of picked that up from him. Glad that I learned that from, but let's just keep going. I'm
Alex
rambling
Pfeiffer, on November 6th of 2020, Alex Pfeiffer asks him, or says, Trump has a pretty low rate at success in his business ventures. Tucker Carlson responded, that's for sure. All of them fail. What he's good at is destroying things.
Yeah, so I guess Tucker Carlson is arguing that at the time he had hard feelings against Trump. Maybe he felt really betrayed, and he, like, somebody who he considered a friend, he was really mad at him at the time. He really had big reservations. You can understand that. Like, that I've heard that from Keemstar, of course, Keemstar, like, but he's not everybody, but yeah, people sometimes, they just get really mad at their friends, especially if they feel betrayed, and they might shit talk them behind their back, and then sort of have this, never mind. But I think, honestly, it'd be more respectable if Tucker Carlson didn't actually think that of Trump, and he was just lying right here, when he's saying, like, oh yeah, I actually just didn't really mean that, I said on the spot. Like, I mean, maybe he should have emphasized, like, I don't hate Trump, but like, he's really frustrating me then. But again, I think he just doesn't have respect for Trump, which is completely understandable, at least I think.
Undisputed world champion of that. I love him, says Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he's saying, have you ever said that type of stuff about, I don't know, your parents when they punished you, or like got mad at you for something that you thought was completely unreasonable, completely just fucked up? You were really... Have you ever said that about your parents, dumbass? Fucking asshole, complete bitch. Have you ever said, like, some very, very mean about your parents in private when you were mad at them? Have you ever thought anything really mean about your parents when like you actually do love them, you do care about them, you don't see them as horrible people, you like them, but sometimes like you'll have really bad times and you'll be really frustrated and you'll like, again, I don't think that's true. It might be true, but like you're just being lazy. in you're just being. Yeah, he's sort of making that face to say.
Who's your favorite politician? Like the one that you feel some personal either attachment to or support for?
I feel personal attachment to no one.
You like some people.
But
I'm not saying you stand.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just such a I'm the rational person type take. Honestly, I think your audience would like it more if you said the opposite, because you are absolutely you're just ingrained in your feelings. Okay, you have a massive ego. You get tripped up over shit like that because you love to play the victim that much. Like, you look like the stereotypical entitled rich kid that you spend your time complaining about vaguely and saying, yeah, this is how rich people are, they don't deserve rights. But then this is you. Should I call projection here? Because I don't think you're doing it on purpose. At least I have the decency to give you that respect.
Or whatever.
The only politician that has consistently been right on the issues is Bernie Sanders.
Okay, so now imagine you're in his story momentarily angry.
I don't know anything about him, but like I definitely believe that the guy is genuine from like the little bit that I've seen from him. And from what genuine people like the Humanist Report and Secular Talk say about him. But I mean, from her, it's like, yeah, no shit, she's gonna say that. She's gonna have a status quo opinion on everything, and it's like, maybe she really does believe it, maybe she doesn't. Like, I don't know, you're sort of doing that to Tucker Carlson. The more things that I assume you're lying about, at this point, I sort of have a foundation. Let's just lazy it out. Just, oh, he's lying about this. Oh, he's lying. Well, maybe we should start after all of these things piling up against you being supposedly a genuine person. Maybe we should start taking everything you say with a grain of salt. Now, would that be fair? No, it wouldn't really be fair now, would it? But that's what you're doing. Or if someone's going to have that perspective, they should be upfront with you about it. And not say, yeah, I really like you. I really believe you're coming at this from a genuine perspective. If I, after, like, everything that I'm saying right here, everything that I said about her in previous live streams, if I went and, I don't know, I invited her to a debate, or I got invited by her to a debate, and I told the type of shit that she told Ben Shapiro at his debate, yeah, that would make me a dipshit. That would make me a cringe, retard, a nigger faggot, what else? Yeah, that would make me an absolute fucking loser. A pussy-ass loser, okay? That would make me a complete faggot, okay? Dude, it's like, I hate that because the word faggot, like, where I live, you just use that as an insult. And, like, now that I've sort of gone into the political landfill, everybody, like, literally everybody is so correct about this. They're like, no, you can't. Bro, like, where I live, like, nobody who says the word faggot. I spent the longest amount of time not even knowing that, like, it was referring to gay people. You sort of use that as an insult, just like you'd use the word bitch as an insult for... Like, I hate having to bring this up every time I say faggot, because I know everybody's gonna take it that way. I need to elaborate. This is... Dude, yeah, hopefully if I grow big enough, I can just lay that out once and for all and not have to go back on this. But yeah, if I did that, I'd be a fucking faggot. If I did that, I'd be a faggot. If she does that, yeah. She's a faggot. I don't care that you're straight, you're still a faggot.
Bernie.
Okay?
And you text me, Bernie destroys everything he touches. He's the best person in the world at ruining everything.
Yeah, wouldn't that be so hypocritical?
I love him.
If you said
He's funny.
That
Yeah.
He's
to Bernie, I wasn't really following because you're just rambling on about dumb shit. But yeah, Anna, wouldn't it be very hypocritical if you said that type of shit, I love you, to Bernie Sanders or to Ben Shapiro? Wouldn't it be hypocritical if you said that to Ben Shapiro and then on your show, not even in private because you're too lazy to keep that to yourself, just in fucking public on your show, you say the exact opposite? Wouldn't that be hypocritical now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
And again, Trump wronged him. Ben Shapiro didn't wrong you. In fact, he invited you to his show and you accepted. He never wronged you, he never did anything to you, and you actually, look, you're denouncing people doing that type of stuff in any situation. Well, Tucker Carlson, he was outraged over having to do that privately when there was no backlash over him. Well, there was no backlash over you doing that to Ben Shapiro. And you don't seem at all apologetic. I bet in private you're not apologetic either.
Here.
But
and that's not even the worst thing he said about Trump. I'm sure you've read
no,
others.
there's more. There's more.
Yeah, I know.
Some of the texts that Tucker sent to his staffers on January 4th of 2021. We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly
Yeah, he doesn't like him.
can't.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say Tucker is like lying about Trump and just trying to soften up to him. Yeah, motherfucker, the left does that too. And in fact, you do that too. I just remembered again, Ben Shapiro, dude. Need I remember?
Wait,
Need I
I
remember?
hate him passionately.
Like, dude, I should just play my fucking compilation.
When you're starting a
She says
business,
that. Actually,
every
I shouldn't
dollar.
do that.
He was saying,
Make my stream count.
I was just mad at one of his
More
staffers
cases.
because a staffer gave me a list of names of dead voters. Then it turned out some of them weren't dead. I was just mad at him. We're almost able to completely ignore Trump, and I can't wait.
Where did he even say? No, I was mad at my staff and not mad at Trump. Did he even say that? And yeah, if he said that, no, then
For it.
okay.
Which honestly, from Trump's point of view, he probably hates more than him.
Cucker. I love that when fucking Anna Kasparian cucked up to Ben Shapiro, and she had no reason to need to do that. In fact, Ben Shapiro is someone who she openly disagrees with, and in fact, she openly hates him. But yeah, when she goes and debates him, which she didn't have to do, she goes and lies to him when she didn't even have to say anything. She didn't have to comment on how she feels about him. It was just off topic, and she didn't need to comment on that. It was never asked. She just started off by saying that type of shit. It's like, bro, she didn't even need to do that. There was no reason for her to suck up to Ben Shapiro, and then she just went back a year after to do it again.
And literally saying he hates him.
Like, what on earth do you have to say for yourself? Like, why are you talking? What, Anna, why are you talking?
Because Trump does not
They're
want
so
to be ignored, certainly by someone with a big audience. Tucker Carlson, and again, if you're a Tucker Carlson viewer, if you're a Trump fan, he does not want to have to talk about Trump. He wants Trump to be irrelevant. He wants Trump to have no influence, no say, no power. You don't want that. Why are you listening to a guy who desperately, passionately wants?
Yeah, okay, fair. But he holds the same, like, again, Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, politically speaking, like, policy-wise, they have pretty much the same policies that they would want to push. If you're somebody who cares about policies, which, if you're, if you're into politics, if you care about politics, that's the only thing you should care about. Well, Republicans are more fact over feeling people. In fact, that's their slogan against you. So maybe they care more about policy than just this caricature. Yeah, there might be a base for that. Like a loud minority again, but
It's that to be true.
dude, the conservative slogan is still fact over feeling.
Also, look, this is a larger question that goes beyond Tucker Carlson, Fox News, and the pandering that they engage in order to maintain the.
Okay, let me see. I hope there's gonna be a conspiracy theory that is actually sort of entertaining, because dude, she's just, I don't fucking enjoy hearing her speak. I don't enjoy fucking
Audience
yeah. I'm just doing this to criticize her because I don't like her.
But what would happen if all
Because it
hosts
might get
on all shows didn't pander at all and actually shared?
Yeah, I don't know. What if you actually did that, Anna? What if you actually told Ben Shapiro, either just didn't comment on what you think about him, that'd be the most appropriate thing, where you said out to his face, hey, I don't like you. You are in favor of school shootings. Watch how quickly he debunked that. But you might not get it re-invited because he'd see how much of a dipshit you are, which he already should have seen that before inviting you. I guess he didn't do his research into you.
They genuinely.
And that shows how much he cares about you, which there's no reason for him to care about you. Yeah, you were like, oh, well, y'all was so hospitable to me. Everybody was so hospitable, which, like, Politicon, that's actually a non-partisan thing, so he was probably the only partisan one there to treat her nice, and, like, it's such a fucking bullshit excuse.
Believe
She's so dumb.
without caring about any backlash from the
So
audience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want your opinion on this because
I know, because you don't have any backlash from your audience for doing the same fucking thing, dude. You don't seem to expect it either, do you?
was wondering about this because
Like, you're so confident in that, you just expect your viewers to not care about it so much because you know they have a cult like mine too, and they're like, oh, right's bad, this guy, yeah, you know they aren't going to call you out on you saying just all the horrible stuff you've said about Ben Shapiro before and in between and after all of these interviews that you've had with him where you sucked him off. Yeah, you didn't expect them to call you out on it. That's why you felt comfortable showing those opinions publicly. Tucker Carlson didn't.
Obviously, you know, while I try
Like, she's
to,
just
like
such
I
a
think, you know, a lot of
massive
leftists or whatever, like empathy and compassion are pretty central to their value system. But that said, occasionally I just want people to suffer, including Tucker Carlson. So he is influential.
Yeah.
He's very wealthy and all that. He has many cabins with wood on the walls and everything. He cannot.
Cabins with wood on them. Aren't cabins made out of wool? Yeah, I think this wood is. Maybe this guy might just be even higher than me.
Say what he
Jesus.
really believes.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of like a curse? You can be.
And also, how much does a cabin cost? $100, maybe $200. Great point. You could have just brought up the fact that, oh, well, Tucker Carlson is rich. In fact, he's always been open on his show about being rich. And in fact, I've also covered this, so I might be genuine about it now. Well, he was born in wealth. In fact, he was born with, like, all the wealth a person could ever possibly care to have for themselves, at least. He never needed to get rich. He was born with all the wealth you could imagine. And he never needed to be a Fox host. Money is an incentive that could be ruled out because he was born with all the fucking money you could have ever wanted. But oh shit, you don't want to ruin that talking point. Oh, he does that for money. Why else does he do that? I don't know. Well, he can't really do it for money because, oh, well, he's doing it to get rich, except he's already rich, so what the fuck is the argument now, right, dumbass? So, yeah, you could just bring that up because, again, your platform has criticized him for that. Anna Kasparyan, I'm sure, Chen Kruger for sure, like, y'all on TYT have criticized him for that. Y'all know what happened, right? At least some of y'all do.
Famous and you can be rich, but you can never.
Some of y'all know that he was born rich, so therefore he has no fucking money incentive to go on Fox News. Why do you think he does that? Why do you think that he cares so much about, like, why do you think he puts so much effort? Imagine, like, sometimes multiple times a day. I'm pretty sure he does that every day. Like, he goes on to Fox News and he gives it. Do you know how time consuming that is? How much effort it must take to do all that? For somebody who never needed to do that, that sort of might blow a hole in
Never
your
say what you really believe. You have to say utter nonsense. You have to pretend to love people that you don't. Or does he not care?
Fucking dude.
No,
Does
obviously.
he not care? Does he not care? Motherfucker, you read the text, didn't you? Yes, he does care. In private, he does care. And what you deem to be his true opinion. And his true opinion that you read, that you're still talking about, yeah, you answered your own question. He does care. You should have just read the text. You're such a fucking moron. Like, it's beyond, you're just such a gigamoron. Like, this is insane. Like, I can't fathom I can't fathom, like, a fucking idiot. Dude, I can't wrap my head around how many times you must have been dropped as a
He
child.
pretends to be passionate about politics, so it would seem to be a curse to never be able to say what you really believe about politics.
I have trouble believing that anyone is comfortable feeling.
Yep. It is in the text messages that you spent like at least the past week talking about have suggested. You deem that his real opinion, by the way. Yeah. He is very frustrated over that. And he said, yeah, I don't lie in general. I try never to lie on my show. But if I'm really cornered, I lie. And you have also covered that tape. Talking about gigamore.
Pressure to say things they don't actually believe. Because I can't do that, right? Like, I struggle with.
I can't do that. I struggle. Oh, well, he probably struggled too, motherfucker. But it didn't seem like you were struggling too much. Yeah, I saw that, one of that. I don't know. It didn't seem like a year ago you struggled too much to tell Ben Shapiro the exact opposite of what you had been spending years saying the opposite of. I mean, the opposite of what you had spent years saying about him. Didn't seem like it was that uncomfortable for you to say that. In fact, you went back on a show a year later after just going back onto your old narrative. You went back to repeat the same lie. Didn't seem like you were too uncomfortable doing it because we didn't have to do it. Whereas Tucker Carlson, he had to choose between his career and doing it. So yeah, that's big difference.
Having to pander to anybody.
Sure, dude. Dude. Okay. I made at least 2 compilations. Let's just go back to this. Okay. Okay. Let's see this.
If you took a low-paying job, well, that was a stupid decision. Why don't you take a higher-paying job? Well, that's a you problem.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Ben Shapiro and who he is. Ben Shapiro forgot that he's a talentless hack. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I get it. He speaks quickly, and it's easy to trick people into thinking you're smart when you speak quickly. But if you listen to the substance of what he's saying, it is easily debunkable, and we're going to debunk it today.
I bet if she ever saw him at Politicon, she would say the exact opposite of that, in fact.
So, you know, Ben is known for being
Little
sharp,
acting spot.
being able to defend his viewpoints without engaging in personal attacks. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation with Ben.
I get it. He speaks quickly, and it's easy to trick people into thinking you're smart when you speak quickly. But if you listen to the substance of what he's saying, it is easily debunkable, and we're going to debunk it today. But before I get to that, remember, Ben Shapiro is a very well-paid puppet for the right wing, right? They found him. They realized, hey, you know what? He would be a great mouthpiece for what we want.
For Democrats, stop focusing on scaring people about the scary right-wing candidates and offer them real solutions that you're going to fight for. I think that's the only long-lasting winning strategy for Democrats. Are they going to do it? No, because they're captured by the money.
I think it's fair to say that Anna Kasparian is a moron.
You and I clearly have a lot of disagreements on policy, disagreements on culture, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're an awful person. It doesn't mean that I should be afraid of you.
Because rather than focusing on the actual solutions to prevent this from happening, you provide cover for the bad guys. Ben Shapiro always provides cover for the bad guys. Look, I think that it's easy to develop this sense of entitlement and think highly of yourself when you are making a lot of money, because Americans can't be bothered to read anything. But he gets paid a ton of money simply to give speeches on college campuses.
Okay, so how did I get hired at TYT? The story is actually a little interesting. I got approached by one of my coworkers at CBS Radio, and she asked me if I was interested in making a little extra money working as a temp for the Young Turks show. I was open-minded and I said, look, money's money. I got to make a little so I can go to Europe.
This
so
is
sure, why not?
very uncomfortable.
Now, some might argue, well, his talent is the reason why he gets invited to these college campuses. Except you forget that the right wing has this very well-oiled machine for propaganda. And so they all work together. It's just really, really important in a functioning democracy to have Americans see one another as fellow Americans as opposed to an identity that needs to be super combative with a different identity. And these Republican groups get these conservative speakers onto these college campuses, and he gets paid minimum $50,000 per speech. And then he turns around and points to the average American and blames them for their economic instability. But hey, those are pesky things called facts. And when you get to manufacture culture wars that somehow give you political power because Americans can't be bothered.
I swear, the Majority Report is exactly like fucking Chen Cougar and Annie Kasparian. Like, they were pretty much all the same type of virtue signalers. Like, I don't hate Sam Cedar, but like, they do the same shit. Like, they are, of course they're gonna show for Annie Kasparian. Like, yeah, they were legit just caricatures of the same thing.
Read anything. This is what you're gonna do. This is what they peddle, Jank.
Anna got hired because of her sweet, sweet rack.
And I also made, you know what? I'm just gonna play this. Dude, I am very sad to have just realized, like, I don't think I have any, I don't think I have any MLG music playing in this, but, no, I'm gonna go get some to eat and shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be right back.
Now, Carlson, in his text exchange with a colleague, expressed his ultimate frustration with Trump's administration. Quote, "We're all pretending we've got a lot." Now, Carlson, in his text exchange with a colleague, expressed his ultimate frustration with Trump's administration. Quote, "We're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it because admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest," he wrote. But come on, there really isn't an upside to Trump. So why are you lying on his behalf?
So, you know, Ben is known for being sharp, being able to defend his viewpoints without engaging in personal attacks. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation with Ben.
Now, the latest revelations are fascinating because Tucker Carlson said something pretty definitive. Quote, "I hate him passionately." Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Ben Shapiro and who he is. Ben Shapiro forgot that he's a talentless hack. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Get a load of Tucker Carlson talking about honest people.
So how do you draw that line? How do you draw the line between somebody who is worth talking to, somebody who's acting in good faith, and somebody who's not really acting in good faith?
Well, I think the interaction that you and I had both before and during that debate was really important to me in that it gave me a better idea and sense of who you are. You know, one of the issues I've had in recent years is the characterizing or the caricatures that are drawn of the other side. And I think the left does it, the right does it. So just kind of like lumping you in with, let's say, Tucker Carlson, lumping you in with, I don't know, someone else that I certainly don't think is coming at these debates from a good faith perspective. They're looking for clicks. They're looking to build their public persona. There's a lot of that going on. This month alone, he bought a ton of weaponry and ammunition to carry out the slaughter of 19 kids
without just
and 2 teachers.
Like having to wait a long time, like cooking all that shit. So I'm just get a banana, you know. Pretty healthy.
But people like Ben are, you know, for the most part, shielded from this kind of stuff. I'm sure he can send his kids to private schools. He doesn't have to worry about this as much as other parents do. So as long as the check's clear and as long as he can continue building his career off of providing cover for the worst people in this country, who cares? I'll even lie to my followers. But there was a time in America where people could engage in these debates, engage in these conversations, and leave feeling that mutual respect for one another, seeing each other as fellow Americans, as opposed to my enemy, the other side. We need to, you know, crush them. We need to do that. I want to move away from that. Now, some might argue, well, his talent is the reason why he gets invited to these college campuses. Except you.
But we're not gonna watch this whole thing. Y'all could watch it if y'all want to. I'ma just put that back. But without further ado, I guess, wait, my hair looks like cancer again. Of course it does. Of course. Fucking course. Alright, let's just go back to the video here.
Which is why,
dude,
like, oftentimes I'll say what I actually believe. It'll lead to some backlash. And I don't know, I just don't care. Because to me, the backlash is worth it if I'm able to actually be honest about.
Yeah, dude, doesn't seem like it. You wouldn't have gotten much, in fact, not any backlash, if you just focused on the topic of the debate and not brought in how you feel about Ben Shapiro privately. And I'm sure even if he had brought it up for some fuck all reason, maybe because you're like the status quo on like people who tend to have your positions politically tends to be, we're not even gonna platform these right-wing people because the left, they sort of tend to have the position, oh no, I'm not against the Second Amendment, it's just these things that I call heinous speech, like, I don't know, hate speech, misinformation, things that I really don't like. Yeah, I think all of the big platforms like Twitter, I think they should all sort of bind together to not allow things like hate speech. And yeah, the left was really, really mad when they heard the idea that Elon Musk might allow for hate speech to be on Twitter. Like, they were really fucking mad about that. Like, more people were saying the word nigger on Twitter. Yeah, basically the left thinks that, oh, their stance is, well, yeah, the First Amendment, you should have the right to say it, but like, these platforms, and this is a right-wing position, by the way, yeah, they should have every right. I think they should have every right to ban whoever the fuck they want for any reason because it's their platform. But the left's position is, well, all of these platforms, they should just, at least morally speaking, they should all make sure to ban things like hate speech. Like, that should be all of their positions. So, basically what the left thinks in terms of that, they just want all of the big free speech platforms like Twitter, all the public speech platforms, to just sort of form a consensual monopoly over free speech in regard to what they consider as heinous speech. Most left-wingers will consider like misinformation, especially hate speech. They want all of that censored, and they would like all of the social media type companies to just bond together in forming this monopoly over free speech and agreeing that they don't allow that type of stuff to be platformed on their platform. Well, that's sort of like, at that point, what can you do? Well, you can go out in the streets, you could film yourself, or you're gonna upload that. Yeah, so you basically have to make your own platform. And like I don't know, Donald Trump, he had to make Truth Social. You know how much money that probably fucking cost him? Probably made him even more bankrupt. Like, to be fair, that was sort of his decision. Like, he made a stupid decision. I don't think he should have been banned for it, but like, I guess he can sort of take down his, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, what the left is calling for in this case, like, they aren't explicitly saying I want the First Amendment removed, but it's essentially the same thing as I put out in the tweet, as Ron DeSantis doing some, like, what he's trying to do, which is, make it so that if somebody, like a journalist, wants to criticize him, they have to adjust with the state, and that's probably gonna get a lot of shit, and they, just like they want these restrictions on free speech to be like, oh, well, all the platforms are gonna make it so hard for you to do it, like, every platform where you speech, you might have a voice, and, like, your voice may be heard. Yeah, all of these platforms should just, like, ban you out of their own free will, but they should morally just ban it. Like, that's not like Ron DeSantis trying to make it harder. Like, it doesn't matter if like you justify it with this speech, I hate this. Yeah, most people would agree with you that racism is bad. Just like Ron DeSantis, as I point out, would agree with himself that criticizing Ron DeSantis is bad. I'm sure he disagrees with most people who would criticize him on the criticism points that they have for him, because he doesn't agree that he is bad. So yeah, you will justify censoring said speech for your reasons, and Ron DeSantis will justify censoring criticism against him, something he doesn't like, for his reasons. At the end of the day, you should be able to do whatever you want, say whatever you want, period, as long as it's not like defaming someone's character, blackmailing someone. Like saying something that someone else isn't gonna like, cyberbullying them or some dumb shit like that. It's like, dude, you should get to do whatever you want, liberty, as long as your liberties are not infringing on other people's liberties, as long as you let your liberties and where others' liberties start. Like, you don't fuck with anybody else. You don't restrain their rights and their liberties. Yeah, that is. So yeah, and
my genuine thoughts. You get what I'm saying? But I just don't care, because to me the backlash is worth it if
Oh yeah, like Ben Shapiro could possibly bring that up as like you being anti-free speech and against platforming people. Is, well, why did you platform me, by the way? But even then, Anna could have just responded by saying, look, dude, like, I'm just not going to, like, I'd prefer we just don't go into our personal opinions of one another, because, like, we already, like, let's just not take it to that, because, like, that's just not a healthy place to lead the conversation about politics. Like, we all know we have our disagreements. Let's just, like, I'd rather we not get personal. Everybody would understand. Ben Shapiro would understand. He'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's very fair.
if I'm able to actually be honest about my genuine thoughts.
And if you're honest about him being a genuine person he comes with, you would also agree with me here that Ben Shapiro would probably have said, yeah, okay, fair, we're not gonna get, like, yeah, what do I really think of you? Well, I'd rather we not go down that tangent. Obviously, I have my disagreements. Could have just said that.
You get what I'm saying? But for me, speaking my mind is more valuable than money. For a lot of people, money's more.
Fucking idiot. How much did you get paid to go on Ben Shapiro and just cuck up to him? Yeah, you went to back on his show and cucked up to him again, and you lied. You lied about what you thought about him. You pretended to have respect for him, to think he's smart, to like pretty much be a fan of him who disagrees with him. More or less, that's sort of what you did. Well, you hate him. You've admitted multiple times you think that he's dirt. Like, he's pretty much dirt to you. You think he's just a paid-off, talentless hack, in your own words. You think he's stupid. You've said that. You think he's a bad person. You think he's just a joke. You don't have any respect for him on any level. But you go on his show and do that shit. Like, I don't know, do you have no fucking shame? You're saying that stuff right here when, like,
more valuable than being able to speak their mind, right? So I don't know. It really depends on what your personal values are.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I hope it hurts him.
Now.
Yeah. I wonder what your fucking values
last
are.
but not least.
I don't know. Maybe yourself. Seems like, yeah. Again, as this person pointed out, trans folks are having their existence criminalized. And she's still talking about the fact that she's being butthurt and she's in an oppressed group. Well, I don't know, since obviously women are, like, even women who are not nearly as marginalized as trans people, they are more marginalized than black people, it seems. How about you spend some airtime talking about that? Well, you're only gonna do it if you get a chance to make yourself the victim in virtue signals. So.
Here are some of the messages that...
Like, and ever fucking wondered why people are just treating you like that, degrading you? Well, you degrade yourself. You aren't really, worthy of being treated with more decency. It is sort of funny, someone who acts so entitled, who is just sort of a garbage human being by her own standards. Like, the way you describe others doing what you are doing, you describe them as just not honorable human beings, just pretty much filth, right? Well, that's what you'd think of yourself by your own standards. Why would anybody not want to say, yeah, she got hired for a sweet, sweet Mac. Oh my god, I get comments like that. I'm so oppressed. Motherfucker, you have a lot of money, and that's apparently my position is your position usually on people in general who have a lot of money. They should just fuck off and accept that more money is stolen from them. In fact, more money should be stolen from them, in your opinion. So
that Tucker sent
dude,
Pfeiffer
so
this time after the Capitol riots took place on January 6th. Trump has 2 weeks left. Once he's out, he becomes incalculably less powerful, even in the minds of his supporters. He's a demonic force.
Yeah, if somebody was really, really mad at their friend, they were really pissed off, especially if they believe, I don't know, some people hold grudges really bad against their like, I've seen family members of mine, who absolutely hate, like, other family members of theirs until, like, 10, 20 years later, like, some family members on my side, like, actually my aunt, who I fucking can't stand, she tends to do that. Just absolutely just go on tirades about how, like, other family members who then she ends up reconciliating with, like, my grandmother, for, like, at least 10 years, she really hated her with passion. Then she be like, yeah, you can be mad, really mad at someone on the spot. And it's like, that's probably not even what happened. He probably really does hate Trump and doesn't see him in a good way at all. But you're just being so fucking lazy with this. You're not even humoring the fact that that would make sense and be possible.
A destroyer. But he's not going to destroy us. I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years. Can we actually go back to the first clip, guys? Because I want you to keep that comment in your mind as you hear him being the pathetic.
You gotta play the clip again because it sort of makes you look like a moron if you do
that he is. Let's listen.
I love Trump, like, as a person. I think Trump is funny and insightful, and I said this to Trump when he called me, you know, all wounded about those texts. That was a moment in time where I was absolutely infuriated.
Yeah, that was a moment in time when I was absolutely... Did you show the rest of that? And by the way, what did Trump say about this? I mean, Trump is literally being ghosted from Fox News now because, like, he calls out Fox News. Why wouldn't he call out Tucker Carlson? Like, why isn't he calling out Tucker Carlson on this? He's already called out Fox News. Why doesn't he do that? Tucker Carlson's already facing the Dominion lawsuit. His credibility has gone down a lot, unfortunately. Donald Trump could just take jabs at him. It seems that he doesn't really have a problem with taking jabs at people on his own side. That a lot of people saying that, I believe, like, yeah, him taking jabs at Ron DeSantis, that's literally what got him to spiral down. Like, that's the bulk of what made his own base start turning against him for the most part. And, yeah, like, he has no problem going after people, anybody, if he feels that they are being disloyal to him in any way. Or that he takes offense, his ego takes offense to whatever they said. Charlie Kirk, fucking everybody. He hasn't said that of Tucker Carlson. Charlie Kirk, somebody who's pretty much like a... I don't know, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, they're sort of all, like, about on the same level in that type of stuff. Like, big right-wing commentators. big fucking right-wing commentators, Steven Crowder, all of them, fucking, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, they're all very well-known people in that sphere. And guess what? Donald Trump said of Charlie Kirk, just for interviewing Ron DeSantis, yeah, some pretty mean things. Secular Talk covered that. I'm not gonna go look it up right now, but you could find that. He's not saying that of Tucker Carlson, so, well, seems like what Tucker Carlson said to him resonated with him now, fucking didn't it? So maybe you think of, oh, that's really unreasonable. Well, a guy like Trump, who takes a big offense to anything that hurts his ego, doesn't matter if that person's on their team, since his ego is so big, he's like, I don't need any of you fuckers. If I consider you disloyal, I'll just disown you. So, you can argue he's an immoral guy who plays it on strategy, tries to, like, appease his donors before his actual base. Before, what's it called? His citizens. He appeals to his donors first, but, like, he has no restraint on that because his ego can't handle that. He's just like, but I don't need these fuckers. They're being disloyal. Get them out of here, bro. I deserve better than this. That's sort of his position. Why wouldn't he call Tucker out? Why would he not be mad over this?
Arguably the world's most comfortable holster and probably the last holster you're ever going to buy. So let's talk.
Holster.
I mean, Trump has this incredible ability to unman all these like pretend strongmen.
Yeah. Yeah, we've spent years mocking.
Okay, I sort of get what you're saying. Okay, buddy.
Mitt Romney for his dinner photo where he's like, and we've spent years mocking Ted Cruz for his photo. That Tucker Carlson clip is every.
Why did you? That's fucking just you admitting to being sort of a loser who's sparring. If you do that, that sounds like some sparring.
Bit is emasculating as all of that.
I love him. I love him.
No, but like think about where Tucker was on January.
Yeah, that's sort of what you said of Ben Shapiro now, wasn't it? I love the fact that you do exactly what Tucker does, except the context is 100 times worse. You have no justification for it, and you don't feel bad was he felt bad.
Sixth.
It's so, like, it's
I've
just
been
so
thinking
funny.
For years about being able to move on from him. We're almost there. No, he's back. And again, if you're a Trump fan, what are you doing following this guy? It is inarguable now. He hates not just Trump. He hates what you love about Trump. He hates the Trump movement, which you are a part of. He hates you.
He hates you. Yeah, that's why he said in these private text messages that, again, you said his real opinion, or his real opinion as you call it, is I am very outraged that I'm having to do this to my viewers. They don't deserve this. We are lying to them, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And guess what? He also said that before. He said, I don't lie unless I'm really cornered, but if I'm cornered, yeah, I'll lie. Try never to lie on TV, and this is the first time.
Why doesn't that bother you, Bohr? But it doesn't bother most. It bothers enough.
Doesn't it bother you to say all this shit and it meant to so
I guess
much?
that Tucker feels he needs to do this, which I did not predict he would have to do. I thought he wouldn't even.
It doesn't because you're just like a stupid person going with your echo chamber. You're just not really open-minded and not thinking about all that. At least I'm not throwing personal attacks. I can understand that you're probably coming at this from a genuine point of view. You're probably not just lying through your teeth, just thinking everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm saying, and just publicly saying, well, whatever, I'll just keep that to myself and go after him, even though it's complete. I believe you believe what you're saying, but, well, that sort of shows some irony.
Bother to address it. But also, we've seen so many people, even some people that say they're on the left or whatever, where like they can reveal who they truly are, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Some people not like Anna Kasparian, it
because
seems.
People they have this like inertia
people on the left, on the right, yeah, most people
of this impression of you or a desire for what you represent in the past or whatever, and so people can maintain this cult status when they clearly are not the person they've been pretending to be.
1000%. Now, when Tucker Carlson said what he said about thinking about how he's looking forward to not having to deal with Trump for 4 years straight, every day for 4 years, Pfeiffer responded, "You're right, I don't want to let him destroy me either. The Trump anger spiral is vicious." And Carlson says, "That's for sure, deadly. It almost consumed me in November when Sidney Powell attacked us. It was very difficult to regain emotional control, but I knew I had to. We've got 2 weeks left. We can do this."
Pick up a phone.
Look, buddy, I'm playing the... Well, you do that in public. It's sort of different when you vent your frustrations in private. You're just being an entitled bitch. Again, look at his response. Radiant captures her entitlement. Trans folks are having their existence criminalized in state after state, and you want to whine about this shit. I'm a woman. Please, someone sort of saturate. Motherfucker, you're a public figure. Grow up. You put yourself out on the internet. You agreed to this happening, but I know you don't believe in contracts because you believe that even if you sign something, well, if you believe that, well, you should have gotten a better deal. The deal should have been, well, yeah, we're gonna be your slaves, actually. Yeah, they think, oh, well, you're a wage slave if you agreed to being a wage slave, because the agreement that you should have been proposed is, well, we'll just give you everything. That we're not gonna, like, offer you a service in return for what we want, because, well, that's why we're hiring people, because we need them. No, we're gonna hire these people for those people, and we're gonna put them being taken care of as if we're adopting a child in front of our making interest, no, what's it called, our making profit. This is what you demand of rich
you're like
people, and
pouring your heart.
Gain emotional control.
So yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, dude, you are an absolute bitch, as I've just showed. You are complete pussy. You just complain and just play the victim, and yeah, you do that shit in public.
But I knew I had...
Again, you lie like Tucker Carlson did in public. You don't feel any shame over it. You tell Ben Shapiro, someone who you didn't have to talk to, and who definitely under no circumstance had to say, oh, I respect you so much. In fact, that's why I'm debating you. I really believe you. Just say everything you had been, like, saying the opposite of, and would continue to say the opposite of. You didn't have to say that in the debate. In fact, you didn't even have to bring that up, especially not at this time. It's like, motherfucker, the fuck?
We've got 2 weeks left. We can do this.
Pick up a...
Yeah. It's like, dude, you're just so insufferable.
Phone. You're like pouring your heart out in text messages, man. I've never been that deep in text with my wife. It's with his producers.
Now, with those comments in mind.
Yeah, you're such an asshole. If you were ever being so, well, it'd probably be over you playing the victimhood complex indefinitely. If you were coming so much, but if if Tucker Carlson put a segment where he was just making fun of you over you saying something that you felt to heart, you would call him a misogynist. Doesn't matter what the context of what he would say about you is, you would just call him a misogynist because you're a woman and he's a man, period. That is, end of conversation. That it would be your narrative.
We have more
like
of Tucker Carlson pathetically backpedaling. Let's listen.
Okay. Dude,
those particular texts were pulled at the moment where I was texting with one of my producers because some idiot on the Trump campaign had sent us the name of these dead voters who had voted, and we went and I repeated them on air, and it turns out some of them were alive. So I was just, I felt humiliated. Yeah, like what? And I thought then, and I think now, that election was not on the level. It was not a free and fair election.
And guess what? There is actually some evidence. Let's see. I think it was worst of Tucker Carlson, but okay. Let's see. Yeah, so this clip, again, like, people seem to have no respect for Tucker Carlson. Like, now this is a thing, and I can actually use that to defend him, so I'm going to. This should never have been released. This is private. You don't release private phone calls. You don't. Like, if you're gonna record them for some reason, for maybe, like, you're just recording a video, you just saw that it, like, you didn't stop recording. You don't release that shit. You don't release that. That is an invasion of privacy. But again, this is another moment of Tucker in private, and that sort of shows that, well, like, it really makes sense. Like, he never believed that the election was stolen. He did. But then, like, I sort of saw that clip, and I remembered it on Trevor Noah, and it's like, actually, it seems that Tucker and Sean Hannity did believe, at least at some point. Don't know when the fuck that was. I've only seen it on Trevor Noah. Don't know how old that is, but clearly, like, this was a private call. He was being recorded without his knowledge or consent, and that's what he had to say. So clearly, at some point, he believed that the election might be
I thought
stolen.
that then, I think it now. I will say this. My comments on TV, well, I think my texts reflect who I am. I'm vulgar in public, in private rather, and I use like bad language and stuff. I've worked in a newsroom my whole life, and
yeah, no shit, and that makes complete sense. Yeah, most people, like, I know so many Minecraft YouTubers who, like, not big fucking YouTubers, but average people who just do Minecraft content, and they're like, yeah, I don't swear in my. And I get this is a different thing, like, oh, I'm not gonna swear, and I'm going to pretend that I like someone when I don't like them. But this is a really nuanced thing, and I already went over all that. And Trump cornered him. Like, he has reason to have his reservations for Trump. Like, he has every reason to be mad at him. He has every reason not to respect him anymore. Like,
my wife's
this
always
is
trying to
fair.
improve me, which is fair. But my views are pretty transparent. I always say what I think. I can't keep track of too many lies. You know what I mean?
Probably the most common question that I'm asked as a professor at Hillsdale is, what happened to my country? You know, when they poll it.
Okay.
That is hilarious. That is one of the funniest statements I've heard from Tucker Carlson. On November 11th of 2020, by the way, Tucker Carlson claimed that dead people had voted in the election. That was a lie. He knew it was a lie. He said it anyway. Many of the dead voter.
I'm sorry, like, maybe, and I don't care, like, either way, he's sort of cornered, so it would make sense that he'd say that, because he's still cornered, and this is still just an extension of the lie that he was caught in and had to back up of the election fraud thing. Like, he has to get back on Trump's good side now, to some extent, and, well, Trump forgave him, so maybe there's a bit more context to that, but, yeah, again, what did she do?
He knew it was a lie. He said it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, given who you are and your history of lying, and how just like, you criticizing him for doing that, given how fucking obnoxious you are about it, how just shameless you do. Yeah, I think I'm more inclined to believe him than you on this.
Many of the dead voter claims.
Yeah, that wasn't tricking you. Like, at this point. Like, is that even true? Should I take that at face value? Usually I do with people, but, with her, it's like, if Secular Talk or the Humanist Report said this, I would believe them. But, she's saying that, I'm guessing she's not gonna provide evidence for it, unless she does. I'm sorry, I don't
he listed
believe
as
you.
evidence were immediately proven wrong. They were immediately debunked. Did he ever retract those statements?
He seemed humiliated by that.
What was the debunked now? Like, him saying that, like, he had said that people had voted, and, like, they.
You'll notice he didn't,
You
like,
talk
apologize to
about
his
that.
viewers for him uncritically accepting an argument directly from a political campaign and then just broadcasting it without any thought whatsoever. That apparently.
Okay, CNN does that. You probably fucking do that a lot. In fact, you don't even look for sources. If it goes with your bias, let me guess. Actually, let me I'm curious. I think it's...
I love Trump, like as a
The
person.
front.
I think Trump is...
I think... Yeah. Let me see if I can get... Of course, she's a woman covering that. Should I guess? Let me see if she's going to just assume that this is true because it came from a woman's mouth who she just believes, or who she knows her audience is gonna like her appearing to
Recently,
believe.
Tara Reid was interviewed by Megyn Kelly, and this was her first on-screen interview. Previously, she had been interviewed by Katie Halper on her podcast and by various print outlets. But in this interview with Megyn Kelly, you get to see her and just how her expressions are, how her gestures are, how her body language is, and I think it's really important to like give you a full picture of her accusations. So let's start off with the first clip. In it, she discusses the type of reception she's received from the very party that she's been a voter for a long time now.
Say that in his view, accusers should start off with the presumption that they're telling the truth. Do you think he's afforded you that presumption?
No. I mean, it's been stunning, actually, how some of his surrogates with the blue checks, that are his surrogates have been saying really horrible things about me and to me on social media. He hasn't himself, but there's a measure of hypocrisy. I have not experienced that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to assume if someone makes a sexual assault claim that they're telling the truth. You're supposed to assume, well, I don't know, like, maybe, probably, but I'm not going to assume, oh yeah, in fact, let's just bring Joe Biden to jail right now. In fact, like, you know what? I believe you, let's go lock this bitch up right fucking now. She might be telling the truth, she might be lying, you just don't know, and once it comes to some, like, a rape allegation...
So, Jake, I just want to provide a few examples of what you'll see on Twitter, for instance, or from actual Democratic lawmakers in responding to Tara Reid's allegations against Joe Biden. First off, you have Joe Biden's longtime political advisor, Ron Klain, and he retweeted the following.
Okay, I don't care about what they say. What do you think of this
Why there
whole
seems to
thing?
be a double standard when it comes to believing Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, but not believing Tara Reid at all. And here's what she had to say.
Okay, so no argument, just a two-quote-qui. Okay. Some there on screen.
He was vice president. First of all, to argue that Kavanaugh had the harshest inspection is a joke. Everyone knows the FBI investigation into Kavanaugh was less than a week long, and he was pushed through and confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. Also, let's just remember what Dianne Feinstein had to say about the Dr. Ford claims back in 2018. She said, during every
Can
step
we
of this
just
process,
get to
had a
the
huge effect
fucking part where you say, oh, well, she was raped. Like,
on her
yeah,
life,
she
and she was incredibly
was.
brave to come forward.
Because
Now, I
I
happen
know
to agree
she's
with
gonna-
the senator's assessment on Dr. Ford there, but I wish that she would extend that same empathy to Tara Reid. But of course, that's...
Wait, what empathy is she saying?
Now, I happen to agree with the senator's assessment on Dr. Ford there, but I wish that she would extend that same empathy to Tara Reid. But of course, that's not a politically convenient thing to do.
So let me be clear. Senator Dianne Feinstein is disgusting. And people who are on the mainstream media that watch this, they won't care about anything but the word I just called Senator Feinstein, because she's inside the club. And inside the club, you protect liars like Senator Feinstein. So let me explain why Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, and she doesn't care about Tara Reid now. All she cares about is her own corrupt career.
So I want to go to two more clips, and this next one has to do with what Tara Reid would like to see. And I want to remind everyone, Tara Reid is a lifelong Democrat. She is not supportive of Donald Trump. She is not going to vote in this upcoming election because clearly there aren't really great options for her here. And so she talks a little bit about what she'd like to see from the Biden camp.
Watching this, what do you want to
see? Biden as an incredibly weak candidate, even without these accusations. But with these accusations, I feel like it's unlikely that Biden would beat Trump anyway. Like, I just do. And I just don't feel comfortable with the way that he and his campaign have handled this case at all, or these accusations.
I'm frustrated on this on a couple of counts. I don't have the answer here. I just don't. Part of my job is to come up with analysis and tell you guys what the direction things should go in an ideal world. They're not going to replace him with Bernie Sanders, who came in second.
No, let me be clear. I know that. I don't want anyone to think that I'm some like delusional person who's like using this as a strategy to get Bernie Sanders in. No, like literally anyone.
Nobody would even think of that. Not even you.
No, but and then it puts us in a horrible position because
shit, I guess I'm high and I didn't think of what I just said.
He's definitely not going to do that. But if he did, then they'd be like, okay, we're going to pick someone out of a hat, Buttigieg, Cuomo, etc. And then that would be unbelievably unfair. And then if we said, Bernie came in second, then people would say, oh, we knew it, you were biased all along. No. That election is long over. The primary is long over. It is not the right answer. Trying to pursue truth is always part of the answer here. And so, and I agree with you. I'm worried Biden's going to lose to Trump, but you can't make decisions based on that. We already had the primaries. So that can't be the factor in deciding. So, we at least try to...
Yeah, like, I was really convinced she was going to say, oh yeah, Tara Reid's story is true, but she sort of alluded to that, I guess.
Well, what he actually ended up doing was he apologized and kind of corrected his statements, except he said that some ballots, not as many as he thought, but some ballots were cast under dead people's names. Where's the evidence?
And Tucker Carlson wasn't backed up in a corner at all, right? Wait, let me see. What the fuck did she just
Except
say?
he said
So much bullshit
that
about-
some ballots, not as many as he thought, but some ballots were cast under dead people's names. Where's the evidence?
You're gonna have to ask the Trump camp, I guess. It's just, I mean, it's so odd. Like, I can't keep track of like too many lies, so I'm transparent. Well, don't worry, we'll keep track of your lies for you.
Yeah, we would do a
don't
good
mind
job
doing
at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love where he.
You're such a fucking moron. Like, are you just being sarcastic? Are you just trying to pretend to not know what he's talking about? Or do you actually not understand that this means, yeah, like, if I don't keep track, like, in the back of my mind that, oh yeah, this is the narrative I'm going with. Yeah, it's much easier when you're just sticking to, well, this is the truth. I'm gonna just say it as it is, and that's gonna be very consistent. Like, that's pretty much statistically bound to be, to look, like it adds up, because it should add up, because it's the truth. Yeah, if you just lie and lie and lie, at some point you're more likely to contradict yourself. And if you don't keep track of, well, this is my narrative, when you mix it in with truth, the truth might happen to not align with your false narrative, because the truth usually doesn't align with falsehood. That was basically his point.
It was like,
in case you're not pretending, in case you're not just pretending to not get this.
Okay, so you've seen who I am, and I will apologize about being vulgar. What do you? That's not what people ever. No, that's seriously. That's like your girlfriend coming to you and you're like, I see this sex tape that you made with another woman, and you're like, you know what? You've got me. I did say some really dirty things in that. That's not the thing that we're worried about at this point. We're worried about the cheating. But also, again, just to go back to the last graphic, I think that you showed. Can you put up the one where he's pouring his heart out for the producer?
Okay, so great analogy there. So you're saying Trump shouldn't be mad at Tucker for like what he said about Trump, for saying nasty things about Trump. So what should he be mad at Tucker for, moron? Did Tucker Carlson cheat on Trump? Or did he just say things that were negative about him? What the fuck even is this analogy? Yeah, he said things that are very negative towards Trump, and one could argue, and that's what Tucker's arguing here, which is probably false, but he's arguing that, well, he was really mad at the moment, and yeah, even people who you have respect for, sometimes when you're really mad at them in the heat of the moment, you say some really bad things about them. And yeah, that sort of makes sense. That's probably why Trump took that excuse and ran with it. Because Tucker's a very likable guy, and I guess to Trump, maybe seeing such a likable and genuine guy, he wouldn't want to lose him as a friend. Like, I wouldn't either. So.
Oh, you really like that one, John. You really like it.
Because again, if you're a Tucker Carlson viewer, if you're a MAGA person, I knew I had to. We've got 2 weeks left. We can do this.
We can do this.
We can do this. Wait, we can do what?
I love how she's like, just every time she's just motherfucker, have you seen you you act like a bitch in public. You're trying to make that bitch voice. You do that in public, motherfucker. You act like a bitch in public. Like you whine and virtue signal and play the victim. Literally, you play the victim of a scenario where trans people who aren't entitled rich fucks like you complaining about other rich people being rich. Yeah, you're claiming to be the victim of this whole situation because someone throws something that you consider degrading at you over the internet. You're a joke.
We can hang in there until Biden is president.
I know.
And then I'll be saved. You guys were storming the barricades. He was desperately waiting for Joe Biden to be president, and only then would he feel relief.
You guys remember?
He's more excited for Biden to become president than I was at that point.
1,000%. I don't recall sending, you're a close friend of mine. I don't recall sending you a text message on election day saying like, oh my God, just a few more hours, John. Just.
Okay. I'm not really Yeah, I guess I'm. Dude. I guess I can finish watching.
John, I can't wait for Biden.
But I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It really is. And
This
remember,
is so cringe.
Tucker Carlson
Why do these people have views?
hit up Hunter Biden to get a recommendation letter for his son so his son would get accepted into some fancy private school.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I am actually very willing to believe that Tucker Carlson has an affinity for the Bidens and clearly despises Trump, but is so scared of.
Dude, wait, Yeah, pretty funny considering how he's been talking about Biden on his show. Clearly he doesn't like the guy
Trump
either.
supporters that he will lie, he will degrade himself publicly, he will humiliate himself publicly. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it.
This fucking dude. Well, hopefully y'all have enjoyed this stream. The very few of y'all who did, the 9 people who did. I enjoyed making it, and I will fucking see you next time. I'm tired of shit. Okay, peace.